2020. Rain is great on a day like today because the fire I feel inside to pursue this position is going to burn this state to the ground.
Yeah.
Now more than ever, do people need to stand together to defend the freedoms of Americans and Vermonters. We have been led through the last year through fear. Coronavirus is scary, but it hasn't needed to shut down our economy. It hasn't needed to keep people in homes. We need to work together, coming forward with a purpose and a plan. And I have the purpose and I have the plan. My plan outlines the 3 P's: power, pot, and people. Power. I want to command the Vermont National Guard through the upcoming 2 deployments. I want to pass a bill, H401, written by Doris Sumner, after years and years of diversity training and observation in the Vermont National Guard. Women who report sexual assaults, harassment, and pursue investigations for justice for wrong deeds to them by green-on-green attacks deserve the opportunity to have their investigation not be the end of their career. When I reported my sexual assault in 2015, the man I told was my NCOIC, which means he was my direct supervisor. After I told him, he called me up and said he had thought about it for a really long time and there was no way that he could not push this assault through the investigation process. He told me it was going to change my direction of my career forever, and I did not know what he meant. 5 years later, I'm now being medically discharged from the Vermont National Guard. My career was cut short by 12 years. After 11 years in the service, I was not ready to stop. I have a passion inside of me because I am a warrior. I have trained thousands of soldiers, and I have trained alongside even more. Together, we have defended our nation and we have defended our state, and I ask every single one of them to stand with me to protect the soldiers that are still in. Over 30 women and men have provided statements saying that the workplace climate and the command structure of the Vermont National Guard is toxic to female leadership. In America in 2020, that is unacceptable. In Vermont in 2020, that is unacceptable. That is 1/8 of the female force in the Vermont National Guard. That's your aunt, that's your sister, that's your daughter, that's your mother. Those are women who have signed up to serve this state and to serve this country and have been attacked within. It is your duty as a Vermonter to protect those women, to protect their rights, and to protect their careers. The Adjutant General doesn't want to protect them. He ignores these reports, he ignores the climate, and instead wants to continue pushing forward with aggressive training schedules and demands that are hurting the troops. The positions in the Vermont National Guard are oversaturated. The demand for new recruits cannot keep up with the declining population of Vermont. Young Vermonters are leaving by busloads to pursue other ventures in cities around America, and we as Vermonters need to do something different to keep young people here and to attract people to the state that we love. It is hard to work here. It is hard to live here. But raising your children in towns like Arlington produce governor candidates. Raising your children in towns like Rutland bring the first Black women city aldermans. Raising your children in Vermont bring patriots. They bring independent and critical thinkers, and we need families here. So by voting for me, you're going to vote me into power to command and lead through retraining and ethical restructuring of the Vermont National Guard. I would love to bring the flight facility to Bennington, increase jobs, increase opportunity, and take the whining and yelling out of Shelburne and out of Burlington against the F-52s. We want them here. We want the economy. The sounds of jets flying over our town and over our state is freedom. We should be accepting those noises and accepting that and bringing it forward with vigor and applaud. Boom, boom. Can you hear the sound of the enemy? Boom, boom. Can you hear the sounds of artillery raining down on the enemy? These are the patriotic chants we need to be cheering to support our armed forces in Vermont, not turning them away. Pot. It's funny coming from a National Guard service member with experience talking about cannabis culture. But I'm going to stand here and tell you that cannabis saved me through my post-traumatic stress disorder. Cannabis is a medicine that can help so many people through difficult times in their life. But even more than that, cannabis is something as recreational and safer than alcohol. And we blast alcohol ads and we blast alcohol culture across our nation as though it's candy. It's not. We need to bring the opportunity to tax the retail sale of cannabis in Vermont immediately. COVID-19 has desecrated our economy, and now we must begin a tax revenue supply that will fill in a hole instead of keep creating more. Vermont wants so many programs, but they're choosing to tax the wrong people. You cannot tax the life source out of a farm. Farmers are taxed enough. Farmers have a hard enough time. We can't keep taking money from people who don't have any money to give. We need to create a new opportunity, a new economy, and that is through cannabis culture. States have done this and have record surplus tax revenue, more money than they know what to do with. Can Vermont even say that they've ever even thought about having that problem? I don't think that they can. And instead, they're taxing the people who don't have enough. We need to stand for the Vermonters together who work in the blue-collar communities, the ones who ache, the ones who got sent home. I know so many of you were lucky enough to work from your computers at home and survive through coronavirus, but so many were not. And the people who were not need to be the focus of this next economy. Forestry needs to be highlighted. The mountains of Vermont and the fields of Vermont and the neighborhoods of Vermont are over-forested. We have too many trees. Can you believe that? 100 years ago, our fields were clear. They need to be cleared again. The health and safety of our forests demand this. I believe that Cynthia Browning on the Agriculture and Forestry Committee is going to make great changes, and I hope that she stands beside me and uses the opportunity to run as an independent to truly bring independent ideas into our state house. So many Vermonters use side-by-sides for recreation. Side-by-sides, four-wheelers, dirt bikes. Around the country, dirt bike economy is real and it's flourishing. Dirt bikers are the ones who can practice and ride through coronavirus. Family members of mine and friends of mine have left the state to compete competitively around the nation. Why can't we do that here? We can't do that here because environmental regulations are so strict, it stifles any opportunity for recreational fun and development. We need to work together, making Vermont a place for our children to have fun and then create businesses out of that fun. We need to create an environment where families want to be here, and right now that isn't the case. I spent 4 years recruiting for the National Guard. I know firsthand how many students are leaving Vermont time and time again. I would offer them the benefits of free college, free health insurance, not to mention just the emotional patriotism and satisfaction that goes along with serving our nation. And they don't want it. They want diversity, they want opportunity, they want economy, and it's not here. We need to stop listening to those who are leading in fear, and we need to start listening to young Americans and young Vermonters who are demanding control to lead the economy and lead the future into the next century. When I look around here today, I am so blessed with the people who are here supporting me. I have neighbors, family, friends, service members, mothers, fathers, sons, children, but nobody is of a different color than white. And this is a problem in Vermont. We need more diversity. We hear the lives of Black Lives Matter ripple through the world right now. We are creating a movement by supporting the rights of Black Americans, demanding to be freed from social injustice and systemic racism. This year I was able to travel to Indiana. I went to a town called Gary, Indiana. I went to go to the shore of Lake Michigan, and on my way, I saw what are the remains of 7,500 vacant buildings, demolished, falling apart to the ground, surrounded by a Black community that has been left with absolutely zero economic opportunity and intense crime regulation against cannabis culture. Do you want that here, Vermont? Do you want to lead our state into isolation and abandonment? No. I believe that as Vermonters, we can lead the nation in a form of reparations for Black and Hispanic Americans who have found themselves behind bars as a result of incarceration to nonviolent marijuana crimes. If marijuana and cannabis are going to be legal now, and I advocate for taxing them, I cannot advocate for a white woman in a white state to make money off of something that Black America has been put away behind bars and punished for. In Vermont, we have the opportunity to take land, develop it, clear it, build homes, and together work out an initiative where we provide Black American families the opportunity to move to Vermont as pioneers, creating a cannabis culture where their skills are no longer looked at as punishment and bad. We have an opportunity to give reparations for cannabis culture. We don't need to start and picket and make an angry voice for slave reparations. That's a conversation that needs to be talked about nationally. But we as Vermonters have the opportunity to step forward and say, we want to do better and we want to be equal. Because equality is the base of what my platform is. All I've asked for in the service is to be considered equal, and I was attacked for being a woman, for being a powerful woman. And I will not sit here in silence. I will not be shamed into my house with the labels of crazy. Crazy means great. There are so many leaders of our time who have been called great, men especially. It is time to label strong, powerful women as great. Do not look at me with pity. Do not look at me with sadness. Look at me with respect. Look at me with admiration. Look at me with excitement, because I am the face of 30 women in the armed forces who cannot stand up here because they are shaking in fear in their bedrooms still after having their careers brutally mutilated by the armed forces. You must look at the children in your home and wonder if they want to serve their country too. And if that is your daughter, do you want their patriotism and their service to be attacked because they are strong and powerful? And I hope you say the answer is no. Together going forward, I am going to be moving around Vermont over the weekends and doing events similar to this one. I love public speaking. I learned it here in Arlington. Arlington trained me to be a critical thinker and a loud voice. I was never good at sports, and in Arlington, that's what everyone is known for. So I hope that Arlington comes together and rallies behind me, because they didn't produce a great athlete. I can run, but I am not coordinated. But they did produce one heck of a political candidate to run for governor for this state, and they did produce one heck of a patriot. And I am asking for the support of men, women, children, Black, brown, white, to go forward and to lead Vermont with a commanding voice, with an inspiring story, and together we can build a Vermont our kids want to stay in. Thank you so much for coming today. Whitney 2020. Woo!